So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to call out a word or phrase, and you're going to all do the same thing, okay? I'm going to move with it too a little bit, probably. Haven't planned this out too much. We'll see what happens. Move with it too a little bit, and you're going to move. You're going to copy it, or you can take it to the next level, right? It comes out of my friend my friend was from Brazil. I'll tell you the story behind it. My friend was from Brazil. We taught together. He came from Brazil, and we had high school students. We were doing Walt Whitman, Song of Myself, big poem. And the high school students were really, 8 o'clock in the morning, really disengaged, like I said. So he started bringing his guitar in. He was a great bossa nova, musical Brazilian player. So he'd invite the kids to come into a circle and sing with him. And he started singing songs. Then what he started doing, sneakily, was inserting Walt Whitman lines, poetry, into the songs. So he'd say, I sound my barbaric yawp, and they would sing, I sound my barbaric yawp, and it became a call and response. And then we ended up doing it, planning like with a poem, doing it before they read the text in the circle in the morning and around all the books that they were reading. And then the kids wanted to do it, so they ended up taking it home, planning it out, and leading it for the other students in the morning, right? They'd take the book home at night, Walt Whitman, for God's sakes. These were, kids from urban Providence, right? Taking the book home, reading it at night, planning it, and coming in. And then when we did our final performance at the end of the summer, they got up on the stage and did it with the whole audience, 3 MCs, right? Got up on the stage and said, I sound my barbaric yawp. And the other students in the audience were standing up and screaming at the start of their performance, yelling out Whitman. So it can go really far. All right, so let's do it. This is the story. Rosie Revere. Who dreamed? Who dreamed? A great engineer. Rosie sat shyly. Not daring to speak. A great engineer. She peeked in the trash. For treasures. Her engineer's stash. Maybe more like stash. Backpack? Okay. Her engineer's stash. Alone in her attic. Rosie made gadgets. And gizmos. She loved. Gadgets. Gizmos. She loved. A great engineer. Zookeeper Fred. After that day, she kept her dreams to herself. After that day, is that right? She kept her dreams to herself. Great Aunt Rose. True dynamo. Rosie lay wide-eyed in bed. A daring idea. A gizmo. To help her aunt. Fly. A daring idea. The Helio-Cheese copter. A daring idea. Floated a moment. A daring idea. And whirled round and round. Froze for a heartbeat. And crashed to the ground. Take care of those knees. Before it crashed. Before that. It flew. Life might have its failures. This was not it. The only true failure can come if you quit. At Blue River Creek, kids in grade 2 build gizmos and gadgets. And doohickeys too. With each perfect failure, they all stand and cheer. Beautiful. That's call and response, right? So it's just phrases and lines from the text. I didn't even plan it. I mean, I took the text and I underlined ones that I wanted to cover real quickly, about 2 minutes before we started. But other than that, you don't need to plan it out much. And you'll get good at just doing it with the book, with the kids. So it's really, really fun. Way to experience the story before you read it. Why in the world would we do that? What's the point of that in the classroom?
Whole body engagement.
Okay, whole body engagement. You're embodying the text.
You just preview the text for them too.
You preview the text before they read it. Great, what else? And produce the vocabulary. You're introduced. We've already, yeah, and you may even be. We got Dynamo. You all. I mean, you see how that works, right? You all had a physical gesture for Dynamo, and you all laughed. You already have a relationship to that word that you'll never forget it now. That you might not have had before, right? What else?
Like schema.
Huh?
That schema where every student isn't starting from scratch. They all bring something that they already know.
Yeah, exactly. So this works with high school students or sixth grade. You're doing Whitman, a really challenging text, or Shakespeare, and suddenly you've got you have some understanding of it. So you have what I call anchors in the text that you understand. So when you read it, you got something to grab onto, right? Even with a kid that struggles.
Those physical connections brought up emotions too, like the love at the end. Just kind of connecting the kids to how the characters are feeling.
Exactly. The emotional response to the text. We're building that before we read it.
Non-readers are not intimidated at all.
Nope, non-readers not intimidated, or people that are scared to speak too, right? That you can kind of, and you're welcome to hide with this too. You put as much into it or as little as you want.
It's modeling fluency as well.
It's modeling fluency, which is one of the key components of literacy development, right?
Intonation also, because when you were more involved, we got more involved, and our voices went up and went down, and yours did too. Just trying to pay attention to that. So.
That's great. And it's important to have this this is reflection, right? This is shining the light back on it. We just did it. I could go, now let's do the next thing. But this is shining the light back on it again. We're looking at it again and now analyzing. And it's important to do with kids too. Why do we do that? How do we do it? And then so when we come back to it, they know why they're doing it and they know, how to frame it. Chris, what were you going to say?
Prosody.
It's what?
Prosody.
Oh, yeah.
Pacing.
Exactly. Right, which is another critical literacy component, right? Great. Yeah, you just threw in all the literacy research right there. That was really, really, really good. Prior knowledge, prosody, fluency. You just kind of said it all really quickly right there, which is really good. All right, great. And that's why, it looks like just a fun activity. Someone looking in might be like, why are they doing that? This is kind of stupid. But there's all of this research behind it that sort of supports it and shows how good it is, too. And you guys know it, which is great. Okay, so now we're going to move to the next level.